we started a series of lecture on reproductive system, okay, and it's an amazing journey. First of all, maybe some of you might feel it. So in this journey we already discussed about the basic, first the overview of both male and female reproductive system, okay. Then we seen about the ovary, okay. We started to study the menstrual cycle, but we first thought that, okay, for studying the menstrual cycle, first we have to understand the female reproductive part, okay. And mainly, otherwise there is all the parts of the female reproductive, you can say, the system is involved in the menstrual cycle, but primarily we focused mainly on the ovary, and we already studied about the structure of the ovary and the function of the ovary. Two function, always remember, gametogenic function, and second one is the endocrine function, okay. Then we studied about the male reproductive system, okay, and the process of gametogenesis in male, that we term as a spermatogenesis. Now guess in today's lecture what we will discuss? Yeah, the gametes are formed here. The female gametes, that's called the ova, is formed here. The male gametes, that's called the sperm, is formed. Today we will discuss about the meeting. Yeah, it's a meeting between the sperm and ovum, okay, and that is termed as fertilization. So make the note, fertilization. Fine. So before going to discuss the fertilization, since today's our lecture outline, first we will deal with the introduction, okay. Then we will discuss about the pathways, okay, of energy production in the sperm. Why I am adding this in these lectures? Because you will come to know, okay, in this lecture only, that the sperm, okay, for survival of the sperm, okay, for the, you can say, the making the capable to the sperm, there is a need for the energy, okay, there is a need for the energy. So it's worth to discuss about the pathways of energy production in a sperm, okay, under the heading of fertilization. Yeah, then we will discuss about the main motive, okay, main part of our today discussion, that's the steps of fertilization, okay. And then at last we will discuss about the sex chromosome and sex determination, okay. So just quickly we will review what we studied till now, okay, about the male and the female, you can say, the gametes. We studied that the male gametes is a sperm, okay, male gamete is a sperm, and there is a very distinct, you can say, the body structure of the sperm. Sperm consists of the head, okay, then neck, then body, then tail. Understood? And in the case of the female, they possess the egg, okay, as a gamete, and there is a coverings, okay, there is a coverings. The nucleus is present in the center, which is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Okay, let's draw it, no? So it's better to understand by drawing. Yeah, so it's a female gamete, okay, and here we see the male gamete. Now the female gamete, as you know, it's ova or egg, okay, and it is here the genetic material is present, okay, and then there is a nuclear membrane which covers the nucleus. Is a membrane bound organelles, because we are eukaryotes, okay. Now after the nuclear membrane, okay, there is a presence of cytoplasm membrane, or you can say the cell membrane, okay, and this environment is a cytoplasmic environment which possesses the many, you can say, the cell organelles. But the thing which we have to understand here, there is a presence of mitochondria, powerhouse of cell, you know it, mitochondria. Fine. Now above this cytoplasmic layer, there is a presence of, yeah, there is a presence of Can you name them this layer which you have studied? The outermost layer which is present, okay, this is termed as corona radiata. Fine, corona radiata. We are not now studying the new things, we are just, we can say, recalling the previous concept which we built in the previous lectures. Okay, corona radiata. Now this, you can say, the ovum, they secrete one of the, you can say, glycoprotein layer, protective layer, that is surrounded the egg, and this layer is termed as, it's termed as, very good, it's a zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. Fine, no problem. And this space is called as the perivitelline space. It's about the female gamete. Fine, once again, female gamete is called as the ova or egg. Okay, it's a ova, and what we discussing is a secondary oocyte. Okay, don't forget, it's a secondary oocyte, because we seen in the oogenesis process that not all the, you can say, the follicles are capable to participate in the fertilization process. Okay, only the secondary oocyte, which is released during one special time. Are you recalling it? Yeah, and those special time is termed as ovulation. Very good. That is termed as the ovulation. Fine, no problem. Now the egg, okay, the egg, they secrete one glycoprotein layer that we term as the zona pellucida, and eggs comes with, you can say, the crown, okay, and that is called as the corona radiata. That is termed as the corona radiata. It is all about the female gamete. Now come to the male gamete. Male gamete, we are referring mature sperm. Okay, mature sperm, or you can say spermatozoa. Mature sperm, first thing. Second thing, the sperm have very distinct body outline, body structure. They consist of the acrosomal head, okay, then they have bit neck, okay, then it possesses the body, and then it's have the tail. Understood? No problem. Now just tell me the contents. Here in the sperm there is a presence of mitochondria. Mitochondria. Centrioles are present in the proximal centrioles, they are present in the neck side. Okay, head possesses the nucleus, the genetic material. Understood? And this acrosomal cap, they are filled with the acrosome, okay, the enzymes which is responsible for the fertilization, and this is the tail. This much we understood from the previous classes, no problem. Now what we do, first we will define the fertilization, okay, and then understood the mechanisms, how the things is going on in our body. So about the fertilization, as I said, it's a meeting between the two, you can say, the gametes, male and female gametes. So you can say it is a fusion of male and female gametes. Understood? No problem. Now what do you think? It's a fascinating process. Is it fascinating process? Fertilization is a fascinating process. Exactly, it's a fascinating process. Like, by the fusion of two male and female gamete, there is a production of offspring. So we call it as a fascinating process. Okay, it's a fascinating process. Fine, no problem. Now the fertilization process need one special time period. It need one special time period during the menstrual cycle, okay, or you can say the female sexual monthly cycle. Understood? There are phases which we discussed already, okay. There are phases which we discussed already. There are proliferative phase, secretory phase, okay, and there is ovulation phase. Understood? So there are phases in the menstrual cycle. The sperm must come, okay, here by the both your you can say ear. Sperm must come during the ovulation period, okay, or around the ovulation period. Otherwise there will be no fertilization, because in the process of fertilization there is a, you can say, the prerequisite of secondary oocyte. Yeah, it's a release of secondary oocyte. Without secondary oocyte, okay, there will be no fertilization. There will be no fertilization. So there is a need for the secondary oocyte, and you know it, that secondary oocyte released during only the ovulation period, okay. So we can say that the fertilization is happening, okay, in a specific time period, okay, and that golden period we term as fertile period, or we also called as ovulation. Understood? No problem. Now the fertilization, if we talk about the significance, okay, the one thing we understood, by the process of the fertilization there is a production of offspring, there is a, you can say, production of individual. Understood? But one of the, you can say, the significance, if we talked about the signification of fertilization, what fertilization is doing, by the process of fertilization what things is, you can say, that done. The thing which is done is a restoration. Yeah, it's a restoration of human chromosome number. Write it down. How? I will tell you. The significance, if we talked about the significance, okay, of fertilization, then it is a restoration of human chromosomal number. See, you know that sperm is haploid or diploid? It's haploid. Very good. It's haploid. They contain the 23, okay, number of chromosome, and your secondary oocyte, okay, secondary oocyte, after the arrival of the sperm they also divide, which we will see after a few minutes, okay, which they divide, okay, and they also have the 23 number of chromosome. By the fusion, by this meeting, okay, the 23 they again rejoin, you can say, and restore the normal human chromosome number, that's a 46, or you can say the 23 pair. Understood? No problem. Now for fertilizing egg, okay, for fertilizing the egg, sperm must have some, you can say, the features, okay. For fertilizing the egg, or you can say female gamete, sperms must have some feature, okay. The first feature you should write it, it must have the, you can say, the power of motility, okay. It must have the power of motility. It means sperms show the movement, okay. When it's come to the reproductive environment, female reproductive environment, it must show the movement, okay. If it's not shows the movement, then you can say there is not a possible of natural fertilization. Why I am using the word natural? Just mark my words, because there are techniques, you probably heard it, that's called the assisted reproductive technique, or also called as IVF, intra vitro fertilization. Okay, so if your sperm is, you can say, the not they don't have the mobility power, their tail is basically not a functional, okay, then in lab, in vivo, okay, sorry, in vitro, vivo means inside, okay, which is happening in the natural environment, and vitro means outside, which is happening in the lab. Yeah, so in vitro environment, you can say by the methods they can fertilize, okay, they can fertilize the sperm and the egg, okay, no matter the sperm have motility or not. But if we talked about the natural fertilization, then sperm must show the mortality. Fine, no problem. Now the second thing which we have to understand, that what sperms, like what features, okay, what features sperm must have to fertilize the egg is the power, okay, or we can say the power to do the acrosomal reaction, okay, acrosomal reaction. Just I'm superficially telling what is the mean by the acrosomal reaction. Acrosomal reaction means that there is a membrane which we've seen, okay, this is a sperm, this is a sperm head, okay, this is a body, and this is a tail, okay. As I said that this head portion is, you can say, the acrosomal cap, and they have the acrosome, or you can say they are holding the enzymes, understood? So this enzyme must release during the fertilization, or you can say the before the fertilization. Are you understanding? Yeah. So they must release, okay, before the fertilization, and that is called as the acrosomal reaction. Acrosomal reaction. Fine, understood? And then a sperm must have the normal morphology. Yeah, means they must have the normal appearance. So these are the three prerequisites, okay, for fertilizing the egg. For fertilizing the egg. Okay, fine. Okay, now let's summarize what we studied. We studied that for the fertilization, the meaning, if we talked about the meaning of the fertilization, it means fusion of gametes, okay, fusion of gametes, okay. If we consider, because we are talking about the human fertilization, okay, but in some of the fertilization there is a fusion of you can say the same shape, size gametes, okay. So that we will discuss in here. First we will just only focus on the human fertilization. Now then I said that the fertilization is a fascinating process. It's a fascinating process. Why? Because this tiny, you can say the gametes, okay, this tiny gametes, it leads to the dramatical change, yeah, and form the individual, isn't it? So it's feel that is a fascinating process. Then for successful fertilization, okay, there's a need for a special time period, because we know that the female reproductive system is a very systematic, you can say the system, it's a very systematic system, understood? It releases only the secondary oocyte which is required for the fertilization during the ovulation period, and we will also see that why this period is referred as a golden period or fertile period, because you can say the female reproductive system, entire female reproductive system is ready to welcome the sperm only during the ovulation period. Only during the ovulation period. Understood? No problem? Now, then we said, okay, what is the use, main, you can say the outcome from the fertilization, that's a significant, the outcome is it restored the human chromosomal number. No problem. Now then we seen that the egg, okay, for the fertilizing the egg, sperm must have some, you can say the special feature, special characteristics. The first one is sperm must show the motility, and while they are traveling in the female reproductive tract, they must show the mortality. Okay, then motility, I'm sorry, not a mortality. Mortality meaning is something different. It's a motility, movement. Okay, then it must perform the acrosomal reaction. Okay, and then sperm must have the normal shape and size, we are referring as a normal morphology or normal appearance. Fine, understood, no problem. Now once we understood about the fertilization, okay, meaning of the fertilization, significance of the fertilization, and what are the prerequisites, okay, what are the prerequisites, then you can say the female are very selective. Okay, and in molecular level also it is true, because they are putting some of the criteria. Okay, they are putting some of the criteria that sperm must have the motility power, the acrosomal reaction power, and normal morphological appearance. It means we have to check the sperm. We have to check the sperm. It's really these things are available, or this is present in the sperm or not. Okay, we have to check the sperm. Understood? So now we are going to check the sperm.